Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Perla, aka Pearls, and thank you so much for sharing this moment with me. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'd appreciate it if you subscribed and just binge on everything else I have to share. So in today's video, I am going to be talking about how I beat and cured an autoimmune disease that I was struggling with. So without further ado, let's get into it. So if you have been following me on Instagram or have seen some of my older videos, you would know that I have or had, let me not speak that over myself, an autoimmune disease called hyperthyroidism, aka Graves' disease. And so what this is, your thyroid is in your throat, and hyperthyroid means that my thyroid was overactive. I was creating way too much hormones. I think it's endocrine hormones. I don't know. But my hormones were all over the place. And most people actually suffer from hypothyroidism, which is the opposite. You're not secreting enough hormones. And so with hyperthyroidism, the one I had, I was sweating a lot, not having any appetite, and just feeling weird in my own body. Those were my main two symptoms. You can lose hair and other things like that. But those are the things that I noticed because I was diagnosed in like October, November, when it was like getting pretty cold outside and I was like in sweats, like sweating. So I tell you guys about how I started medication and I became a pescatarian because of this illness. I just felt like, maybe if I lay off the red meat, I will improve my health and like my internal system, because we all know, eating meat is not the best thing for your body and digesting it takes a long time. So that's what those two videos were about. And since then, in my latest video, when I said I'm back on YouTube, I kind of mentioned that as an update, I am no longer dealing with this autoimmune disease and I'm 100% cured. Praise be to God. And so I got a few comments of people asking me like, how did that happen? And, just wanting to share my experience because some people are in the same boat. And so to give you guys a little bit of context, I don't think that my case was that severe because I was only on 5 milligrams of methimazole. And so that, I really don't know what that medication did, if it regulated my hormones or decreased the amount that was supposed to be coming out. But I was taking that for about 6 months and my T4, TH, whatever those levels started to go down and normalize. And so I do want to mention that each time I had a checkup, the doctors would always suggest the most extreme kind of solution. So it was either radiation, like literally zap and kill my thyroid, and then I'd have to take pills for the rest of my life in order to produce the hormones that now are not naturally there at all. Or the other option was to do surgery, remove my thyroid, and still have to take pills for the rest of my life. And then the other option was something about iodizing it. I didn't really understand it, but I just kind of said, like, if I'm taking pills right now and it's kind of, on track to have the same results, then why would I undergo surgery, undergo radiation, if I still have to take pills? Like, I'm fine, I'll just take these pills and that's it. I don't really know what that was about, but it was literally at every single appointment, and they were always asking me like, do you plan on getting pregnant or anything like that? Because those medications were not, they would kind of mess up your fertility if you were planning to have a baby on the methimazole. So after about 6 months, I want to say, my level started normalizing, and they were like, okay, I think we can decrease your dosage. And so I went from 5 milligrams to 2.5 milligrams. And I want to stress how minuscule my case probably was, because they told me like there were people who were on 60 milligrams and stuff like that. And so like 2.5 to 60 is like a huge difference. So I took these 2.5 milligrams for maybe 3 months, and I have a bad sense of time, so it could have been 3 months, could have been 4, could have been 2. But I took these pills, and simultaneously I was already kind of cutting back on eating meat and just like being more conscious of what I was eating. But it was really just meat, to be honest. I've never been a big like junk food eater. And so after a while, I just was kind of like trying to be in tune with my body. Like I really try to go down the most natural route as possible. If I don't need to take Tylenol or any kind of medication, I won't unless I'm like dying. And so I started to realize I'm not really feeling these symptoms anymore. Like I don't experience these hot flashes. I'm not like sweating profusely when it's cold outside. And my appetite was back. I was eating normal. Like it was to the point where I was starving. Like my stomach would hurt from how hungry I was, but I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to eat. And so once that went away, that was like the biggest factor for me to realize, okay, I think I'm getting better. And, you know, they said my hormones were leveling out. Everything is starting to look normal, and I'm decreasing my dosage. So essentially what I did, and I won't advise this, I'm just giving you my experience, I stopped taking the medication. I was like, you know what? I don't need this. I don't need this. I'm taking a pill that is like virtually doing nothing to me. And if I'm already on track to not be dealing with this autoimmune disease anymore, then peace out. I'm done with it. And so I also want to kind of talk about the psychological part of dealing with something physiological, biological within your body. Is like, you know, an autoimmune disease is essentially your cells are confused and they start attacking each other, you know, your body starts attacking itself. And so your body and your cells on a molecular level are really influenced by how you're thinking and how you're feeling, and all of that, you know, really does stem in your gut and what you're eating, which is why I kind of had that diet change. But then I also just kind of shifted away from that victim mentality of like, yeah, I have this disease, or like just stop labeling myself as that, and started saying like, I'm good, I don't have this, like it's gone, it's going away. And some people call it hocus pocus. I call it faith, and some people call it manifestation. Like I just was confident in my body to heal itself and not need to rely on these medications, because it was just, they were putting me down a path that I was going to be on a surgery bed. I was like, no. But that's essentially my whole recipe, if you will, of how I am free from this disease and this autoimmune disease called hyperthyroidism or Graves' disease. It's been like 2 or 3 years now. You know, I let the doctors know, hey, I stopped taking this, and they obviously weren't happy about it. They checked my levels. I was fine. She was like, okay, let's have a 6-month checkup. I came again. I was fine. And she was like, all right, I think you're good. Let's just, you know, check in a year. We checked in, and I've been good ever since then. And since that last appointment, I haven't had any other checkups, you know, at that specific department, aside from my regular, you know, physical and things like that. And at that appointment, they can see your history. And so they check my levels when they do the blood work for everything else. And I was fine just again. So I hope this can help someone. Really, you know, the main 2 points are just be mindful of what you're putting in your body, because this disease that I was dealing with doesn't really have a known cause. They don't know why this starts, why your thyroid starts to overproduce. And so for me, it's like, what am I taking? What is this pill doing if you don't even know what you're really addressing? That's why I took matters into my own hands, and I was like, I'm pretty sure the food I'm eating is affecting my body. Like, come on. So I went down that route, and I was really only a pescatarian for about a month or two. So I don't know how much of that impacted it, but it probably was enough to kind of like starve my cells of maybe the disease that it was feeding, because, you know, red meat has a lot of bad things. That, and then again, your mental, like, I would suggest not victimizing yourself, not feeding into how your body is feeling, and really creating that narrative of like, I'm healthy and I'm capable of healing myself, and, you know, your body will follow suit. Of course, this is not medical advice. This is not medical recommendation. I'm just sharing my experience and what worked for me and the steps I took. So I hope anyone who is suffering or dealing with this autoimmune disease, you know, gets better and can cure it and fight it off and be free from it, because it is possible. And then of course, you know, just have faith. Like, it's technically a miracle to have your own body fight itself and then for it to be gone with no explanation, the same way that it came. And I'm just really grateful and blessed for that. So I just wanted to share my story with you guys, and I hope anyone who's listening will just drop a comment and share how this resonated with you, and just like my video. I'm so grateful that you're here, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Bye.